Welcome to The Shoreline, brought to you by Shores and Islands, Ohio, where finding your Lake Erie love is a sure thing. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jill Bauer, the PR manager at Shores and Islands, Ohio, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Dayton Barnett, who manages our social media. Dayton and I are here every week to give you the inside scoop on everything that's happening here in our island and coastal communities and the events and the attractions that we think you'll want to know more about and visit. Good morning, Dayton.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm up. I'm excited. I'm ready to get on a ferry to an island.
Right? That's definitely in my head as well. And have you been yet this season?
Actually, yeah, I was there just a couple weeks ago for the whiskey light over at Roundhouse Bar.
Oh, nice. And I assume you covered that on social media?
No. I went over there to get coverage.
He just went for fun.
I did go there. Their intention was to go for coverage and to get some stuff for the event. But when I got there, they had changed the time of the whiskey light. And so I had to coordinate with the ferry times that they were running that day, which are like an hour apart and stuff like that. So I'm like, I can't even stay because like I got there, I was ready for it, and some stuff just got moved around, so I couldn't stay for it. So I got a little bit of stuff, at least got some story stuff while I was there to post on the Instagram story that day, and saw lots of people there and everything. But it was packed. Like you couldn't. All you
really missed was the turning on of the light, right? You were there for the party.
Yes. Okay, not even though, because the whole point was to go there for the light. I literally went there for the light, to get a clip of the light turning on. Like that's how, like, that's just social media. Like I would go places for the tiniest thing, but that holds so much importance. And I went there for the light, and I didn't get the light, so I was a little. I got on my way.
What a bummer. Well, I'm sure that it was still a good time. There was still great music, and like you said, lots of people. What we'll get into a little bit later. We'll talk a little bit about Put-in-Bay, where Dayton went for the Whiskey Light celebration. But if you're not already, make sure that you're following with Dayton online. Be sure to engage with his posts. Dayton loves getting comments and questions. He comments back. Even if you have suggestions on places he should go next, he's always looking for ideas and things of what you guys want to see. So you can find all those social links on our website at shoresandislands.com. Getting into the meat of the episode today, a few weeks ago, we held our 2024 annual meeting, and you may have heard our interview a few weeks back with our president, Larry Fletcher. In that interview, we chatted a bit about seasons and how there really is no off season here. It's just a continuation of and into a different season. It's always a different season. So as we continue through the month of May, we're embarking on what we affectionately call island season. That's why I asked him, did you go over? Have you been there yet? Because once the ferries start running and the businesses start opening up on the islands, like we all kind of just get an itch, right? We want to go over to the islands and enjoy. Shores and Islands is home to several Lake Erie islands. That's why it's right in our name. A few of which are not only inhabited, but they're great destinations filled with resort attractions and amenities. So today, we're going to chat specifically about the village of Put-in-Bay, which is located on South Bass Island. Joining us on the podcast is the executive director of the Put-in-Bay Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau, Ms. Wendy Chambers. Wendy has been in the tourism industry for over 23 years, starting her career in Bowling Green, Ohio. She has been with the Put-in-Bay Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau for the last 3 years. She is a graduate of the Ohio Travel Association's Leadership Academy and a current board member of the Ottawa County Visitors Bureau, which is one of our governing boards since we represent 2 counties in Ohio, both Erie and Ottawa County. So welcome to the Shoreline, and thanks for joining us today, Wendy.
Well, hello there, Jill and Dayton. Good to talk to you today.
Of course.
It is awesome to speak to you always. I know I always catch you over there when I'm over on the island. First off, of course, we know and love Put-in-Bay, but for our new listeners, can you tell us a little bit about the island, both as a community and as a destination?
Well, Put-in-Bay, Ohio is actually an island in Ohio. I think there are so many people in this world that don't realize that Ottawa County and the state of Ohio has islands, and it's pretty exciting. It's one of those things that you have to experience to understand. It's called Island Time, Island Way of Life. Our residents are about 600 during season. Off season drops to more like 300. So there are those winter people that live there year round and get to enjoy things like ice fishing and having a shanty out on the ice. Now, some years we get solid ice and some years we don't. This year, Miller Ferry was able to start running in March because we had a short period of ice time this year. But
Limited ice this year.
yeah, but some years it's solid, and the ferry will not start running till April. And we're very historical in the sense that Oliver Hazard Perry and the Battle of the Great Lakes. We do host Perry's Monument and International Peace Memorial, which is an international park. We also host 2 state parks. Very proud of the fact that we do have both state parks and international park on a 4-mile island. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's 4 miles long, is I believe 1 mile in width, roughly.
Roughly.
It's a very small island, and considering it's so small an area, there's really a lot going on there. Now, isn't Oak is it Oak Point like the
Oak Point State Park. Yeah.
smallest? Isn't the smallest state park in the state of Ohio? Is that true? Or am I
I
making that
think
up?
it is. It's very small and has a beautiful gazebo
It's a great picnic spot.
area.
Yeah,
There might be a picnic table or two, but it is a
yeah,
beautiful view of the
exactly.
sun there as well. And of course,
Yeah.
South Bass Island is known for the sunset, which is why we put our logo there, where the sun sets in our little sunburst in our logo.
Yeah. So you had mentioned the winter season earlier this year. We spoke with Miller Ferry Captain David Bianchi. We got some fun stories from him about growing up on the island and living there year round. So your job primarily has you there in the spring, summer, and fall. How would you say the vibe changes on the island?
Well, we go into what we call island time for sure. The island way of life, the season begins officially Memorial Day weekend, although we are starting to be up and running, especially with the eclipse happening on April 8th. But we're up and running, but official is Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day weekend. And then we do have a lot of our signature events in the fall. So we are very vibrant and full of visitors really well into October.
So we also mentioned the Miller Ferry. Can you tell us some other ways guests get to the island, and what are the best ways to get around the island once you've arrived? I know it gets pretty crazy out there with so many people, and the fact that it is a light island. So I know there's some pretty fun ways that people kind of travel around.
Well, the Miller Ferry is our car ferry. Coming in the spring and late fall, it might be okay to bring your car over, but really during the season, you don't need to. We have plenty of golf cart rentals available. You can rent bikes. There's a lot of different ways that you can get around the island. There's a bus that will take you from the Miller Ferry to the tour train, which is downtown. So there's a lot of different ways to get around. And actually, the downtown itself is very walkable. Even some of our attractions are very walkable. Now, the other way to get to the island is the Jet Express. It is not a car ferry, and it goes out of Port Clinton, where the Miller Ferry goes out of Catawba Island. Both are wonderful ways to get to the island, and the Jet Express actually comes right into the downtown.
We're also very fortunate that the Jet Express has a port in Sandusky for a much shorter season, like not the full season that they run out of Port Clinton, but they do run for a few months at least out of Sandusky, and they make a stop at Cedar Point, they make a stop at Kelly's Island, and then they make a stop at Put in Bay. So it's a much longer ferry ride from Sandusky.
Yeah, and honestly though, when you get on the ferries, they low key like just kind of fly by. Like honest, they never really seem as long as the times as you
No,
like that they say they are. To be honest, maybe it's because like the stops in between like are not far from apart from each other, but it's I don't know,
right.
but they never really seem as far as it seems. And like the boat times, like both teams, Miller Jet, they are on point with times. Like I've
Yes,
never
they are.
gotten on the ferry late. It has never moved late. It is always on time, and you're going to get there right on time, right when they say. So it's pretty clutch.
Super efficient and fun, right? I mean, getting there is
Yeah.
half the fun. It's you get a boat ride to go to the place that you're going. So yeah, it's really amazing. We love it. So Wendy, having been In your role for the last 3 years, what has surprised you about the job there? And what's been your favorite thing? What's been your favorite part about your job?
Getting to know the community. I was very surprised and welcomed when I started, and the fundraising capabilities over there are wonderful. I mean,
That's
we have
great.
raised funds as a Chamber of Commerce with the community for the Put in Bay sign that's at South Bass Island State Park, as well as bringing the Ohio State Band last year.
Yeah, that was cool.
Very exciting that we have very generous people that live on the island and see that bringing visitors to the island is positive and will bring more business to their businesses.
Definitely.
And just like that event, a number of events are hosted on Put in Bay, but Put in Bay also hosts a number of great festivals throughout the season. Along with those events, what are some of the major events people should plan a visit for?
Well, the Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau hosts 10 signature events in addition to many, many others. If you get on visitputinbay.com, and that is the official website, you will see a very long list of events. Probably my favorite and probably the biggest event is our 3-day Pirates Festival, which is actually going into its 16th year.
That's awesome.
It's a wonderful family community event on Saturday and Sunday, and there's so much to do. And we're hoping to bring a ship again this year. It's not finalized yet, but stay tuned.
Cool.
So, another wonderful newer event is the Ohio Islands Wine Festival. And this is held at Heineman's Winery in association with the Ohio Wines Association as well. It is on June 22nd this year, and it is a wine tasting. There's food and entertainment. If you don't make our spring wine festival, we have another wine festival in the fall, the Island Wine Festival, which is going to be held on September 28th this year, again with wine tasting, food, and entertainment, and that is now held at De Rivera Park downtown, where many of our signature events are held, such as Oktoberfest in October. We also have Art in the Park and Founders Day. And I do need to mention that it's the 50th anniversary of Founders Day this year.
Oh,
So
wow.
there will be a bigger and better celebration each year. We're taking it back to its original event with those shore cakes from the local churches. It's just wonderful. And we're excited for all of our signature events, but those are just some. Get on our website at visitputinbay.com, our official website of the island, and everything is spelled out for you.
So if somebody was going to plan a visit to Put in Bay for the first time, they've never been there before, what sites and attractions would you consider to be not miss? Make sure you do these things.
The must-haves, I mean, definitely the monument. That would probably be our number one.
That view is spectacular.
Spectacular, and it's just an overall experience. And the visitor center has all kinds of historical information. So if you're a history buff, definitely. And then historical weekend is always the same weekend as Art in the Park, which is in September this year on the 7th. So it'd be the 8th, that whole weekend through the 9th would be at the monument there and visitor center. But other attractions, and these are all available on the tour train. So this is why I'm saying that these are probably our main attractions, would be Perry's Cave and Family Fun Center. There's so much to do there. You need at least an hour, if not two. You can mine, you can putt-putt, you can go through the maze, you can go down in the cave, you can go into the butterfly house, wonderful gift shops. There's a car museum. So there's lots to do there. And then right across the street is Heineman's Winery and Crystal Cave. Heineman's is one of the oldest wineries in the state of Ohio, and they make their own wine there. It's wonderful. And the cave, the Crystal Cave, is something to see. It's one of the largest geo caves in the world.
Yeah, two totally different experiences. You got the Perry's Cave
Absolutely.
and Crystal Cave, two totally different experiences on one tiny island.
Absolutely. And then I've got to throw in getting that picture at South Bass Island State Park. It's, my heart is there because that is a great selfie spot for your families and everybody to get those pictures and then to post them and tag us, Put in Bay Sign, on our Facebook page, which is at Visit Put in Bay. And downtown Put-in-Bay is very charming and historical in itself and has tons of restaurants and retail. Two of our most iconic restaurants would be the Boardwalk, known for its lobster bisque, which is
Yes.
a must do, must have while you're on the island, and also Frosty's Pizza. Both very iconic and historical restaurants that if I was coming to Put-in-Bay, those would be two of the places I would definitely want to stop. But there's so much more to choose from. Full restaurant list on our website again. And new this year, in case you haven't heard, the Stoiber family is opening up Sweet Sibs. It will be on Toledo Street, right catty corner from the tour train. It's going to be an ice cream parlor and have other
Nice.
things as well. They just put in a beautiful new jungle gym playground area because they are wanting to welcome families. And so, very, very excited about that. And what a great location, catty corner from
Yeah.
the tour train.
Oh, that's amazing. Is there any other kind of cool new things coming to the island?
Another newer thing is Ship House Vodka has come to the island with its own tasting room. And Noble Cut is the name of the distillery. And they do make some of the vodka on the island as well as in the Cleveland area. And what is unique about this vodka is it comes in this beautiful glass ship.
So it's Ship House vodka. Why is it called Ship House vodka? Explain to the people what the Ship House is.
The bottle of Ship House vodka is modeled after the Benson Ford Ship House, which was brought up on the island many, many years ago. And it's actually tourable. We hold two tours a year, and we will have one in June and one in August again this year. And you can go through all the many rooms. It is original. There's only one room on the ship that has been remodeled. Otherwise, it's all original. It's very fascinating. And the owner, Brian Casper, has been very generous to let us do these tours, which are fundraisers for the Chamber of Commerce.
That's really nice. And really you can only see it and the most spectacular way to see it is from the water because it literally is a ship that's kind of stuck on a cliff. And if you take the Jet Express from Port Clinton, when you come around the north end of the island, you get an amazing view of it. And you can drive by and see it from the other side, but it's really spectacular from the water side. So it's people always ask about it, and I think it's really great that you guys are now doing these tours because people are always curious about what it looks like on the inside. I believe it was even on like some different television shows in the past. I think like MTV Cribs and things like that to show the inside. So people are always curious about that. I bet that's a huge fundraiser for you guys.
It's wonderful. And I will tell you, I work every event, and to see the people's reactions after they've gone through, they're really amazed. And it's been one of the most sought after things since I started 3 years ago that people wanted to tour. So thank you to Brian Casper for letting us do that. Great promotion for his Ship House vodka, which is pretty good, by the way.
I want to bring Dayton back in here and just get his opinion. So I asked Wendy, what did she think were the not miss places? And I know you visit Put in Bay a lot. What do you recommend, Dayton? What are your kind of like not miss places?
Well, I definitely can say I've been to the island, Put Bay specifically, a great deal. And at this point, I honestly feel like I could be a tour guide. Like I've done, I think, almost everything there. Honestly, I feel like we hit everything. I guess it's just more so checking it out and tailoring, that trip to what you're looking for. Because like we've mentioned all day, there's stuff for, if you're just a couple for a weekend, or there's stuff for family trips. There's everything there. There's jet skis and stuff like that for watercraft. There's plenty of hotels and space to just stay on the island for the day. There's restaurants that are kid friendly and bars that are for adults too. So I feel like there's literally something, for everybody there for a nice weekend trip or even a day trip, especially with the ferries and the just how easy it is to get over there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we honestly talked about everything over there.
I would
Maybe not. Maybe
agree.
Put in Bay Winery. I don't know if we mentioned their name or not, but
Put in Bay Winery at the Doler House. That is also, she did mention Heinemann's, but at the Doler House, the Put in Bay Winery has amazing views, and it's it's a winery and a historical home in one. So you get kind of a historical house tour along with your wine tastings. So yeah, that's another great one to add. I honestly, from a visitor perspective and from taking my family over, I just love riding around on a golf cart. I mean, you almost don't even have to do anything because it's just so beautiful over there. Just the views and the different parks, and there's a lot of hiking paths and things like that. I think that's worth mentioning, and I've loved going over there. Wendy, is there anything else that you want to add, or anything else you want to make sure that you mention today?
Well, I think one of the best kept secrets is all of the hiking trails on the island. There is a trail guide. So if you are an enthusiast and you want to mark off those trails, you can pick up a trail guide at the Visitor Center on the corner of Delaware and Toledo, which is the Chambers offices. And it's very interesting to walk to the end of a path and have it come out to the water. And there's so many of those. It's just a great way to get exercise, get back to nature. And with your family, there is a storybook trail as well. So, with ever changing books each season. And that is something that I think is another best kept secret on the island.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I think Put in Bay in itself is kind of one of those best kept secrets. You don't know until you know. And so we recommend that everybody go out there.
Seriously, I mean, because to be fair, I know a lot of people, like people that live here, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, those people who don't know that there's an island here." Well, to be honest, I didn't know there was an island here until I started working here. Like, I guess you just wouldn't know until you know. But
Yeah.
I didn't even know that we had islands here until I started working here.
But now that it's a great place to go.
Oh yeah, and now I get to share it with everybody. Be like, "Yeah, man, you gotta go over there."
Absolutely. So, Wendy, tell us one more time where people can get all of the information on the events, how to get around, all of the fun things to do. Where's the best place to go online for that info?
All our information on Put in Bay and transient dockage, if you want to bring your boat over,
Yeah, good point.
another way to get to the island, as well as even flying over on an airplane. All the transportation information, all the lodging information, so many ways, bed and breakfast. We've got, boutique hotels, we've got resorts, are all on our website, which is the official website of the island, which is visitputinbay.com. And you can also get there with all our social media at Visit Put in Bay. And so we're very excited to get started on the season and guide you on your way to a day trip. Any way you want to come and have your everyday island getaway, we are here to help.
Absolutely. You heard it here, folks. Put in Bay is the place to visit. It's island season. We're excited about it. We hope you're excited about it too. So thank you, Wendy, for joining us today. And thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want to learn more about all of the amazing things happening in Shores and Islands, Ohio, you can go online to our website as well, shoresandislands.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a minute of the action here in Shores and Islands, Ohio. Again, all of the information is online at shoresandislands.com and visitputinbay.com. We'll see you next time on The Shoreline.